Peace, family. I hope that you are well. So I have finally reached 8 years as a Freeform Locker. Yay! For those of you who do not know, I started my journey in 2014. I shaved my head the day of my aunt's funeral. My aunt had passed away of cancer, and I shaved my head bald and started freeforming from there. So my intention for this video is just to share some do's and don'ts, or some great takes and some mistakes from every single year of my 8-year journey. So let's start with year one. Year one was my year of fun and colors. Again, starting from bald and moving through that TWA phase, I had a lot of fun with colors. So a great takeaway I would say from this first year is don't be afraid to play with colors, because as your locks grow out, the tips of your locks will still carry that bleach, dyed, light brown blonde color at the tips, which gives it a really great, almost like ombre effects as your locks grow out. A little oil and water every day just to moisturize, run my fingers through my hair, and that's it. There, as you can see, there was no separating, no coiling or anything. I was just growing, and my locks started to bud beautifully, you know. Another great takeaway is this is when you really grow your confidence, because during these early phases, a lot of people have no idea what the hell is going on, and it wasn't until I got about to the end of the first year, which is what you see here, that you could really tell, like, oh, okay, she's freeforming or she's locking. Now, a mistake from this year, or something I would do differently, is I would document my journey more. If you are in your first year of freeforming, please document that early year more. This is the most eventful year for your locks. Freeforming, cultivated locks, whatever. That first year is the most eventful year. Document. The pictures that are here are literally like the only decent pictures I have of my locks that first year. I absolutely wish I would have just documented the journey more. But year two, I did a better job. So in year two, as you can see, the locks are definitely budding. My front took the longest to start forming, but all around my sides and my top definitely like formed fairly well. By year two, it was clear that I was, free forming. I wasn't getting questions anymore of like, girl, what you doing with your hair? What's happening? By year two, it was clear. Now, I have about 3C in certain areas and 4A in the others. Y'all know how black folks be, okay? So my locks separated fairly easily and naturally on their own. I didn't have to do any additional separation and no cultivation whatsoever. As you can see, my locks were standing up loud and proud, and actually were forming really, really well. I was still having fun with colors, but as you can see by that top of right picture, definitely over processing, a lot of bleach, a lot of rinses. I think actually this was my last time dyeing my hair for a while. I rinsed it black and just kind of like let it rest for a second. So advice for year two, or mistake of year two, was learning my lesson about over processing. But a good thing is my locks dropped. It was literally like one day I woke up and they was like they were standing up, and then I noticed that, when I got out of bed, they wasn't popping up. I would normally get in the shower and they pop right up and they looking cute. They ain't all flat and matted no more. And one day it was just like, nah, But at this point, they were definitely like ear length, doing really, really well and thriving on their own. I was washing with Castile soap, moisturizing with avocado oil, castor oil. And just kind of like giving them a rest. Wearing a lot of head wraps. That was my style, a lot of head wraps. During this phase, a lot of people use pins and things like that. I personally do not advise that. Just let it happen on its own. Year three was my year of decoration. I was decorating my locks a lot of copper jewelry, crystal jewelry, and that was like the most styling I was doing. I was really just like letting them grow and form on their own, just letting them have a life of their own. No bobby pins, no extra stuff, because I didn't want to worry about breakage. So my great takeaway from year three is just let your locks be. Wear head wraps, do things like that, but really just let them sit and rest and form. Now, this was a year of great growth for me. However, I learned a lesson in this year, well, actually, I learned the lesson later on, but it happened during this year, which was at this time I was on a weight loss journey. So I wasn't eating as I guess as often as I should have, or as maybe as, yeah, I wasn't getting as much nutrients, I guess, as I should have been getting. And it caused me to eventually, years down the line, I noticed that year 3, I had thinning. I didn't know it though because my locks were growing so fast. But from me, I guess not eating as often or not eating as much, my hair was thinning and I didn't know it. So definitely be mindful of your diet, especially for anybody who's like losing weight or on a weight loss journey. And you may not realize that, yeah, you're getting healthier, skin glowing, hair growing, but my hair was thinning. And about year 5, I noticed that there was a thin spot going straight around my locks, that eventually around years 7 and 8, some of those locks started popping off. So definitely a huge lesson from year 3. Please mind any extreme diet changes. If you are on a weight loss journey, take some biotin. I wasn't taking biotin. I was just, thinking I was drinking sea moss and doing my thing, so that was going to be enough. Nah, take some biotin. Year 4, as you can see, hair wraps is still my thing. Not too much styling, definitely a lot of hair wraps, a lot of hats. That was my style. That was like the way I did up my locks, no bobby pins, no extra stuff. Just again, I didn't want to, bobby pins can break your hair off. It can cause damage. I wasn't trying to do that. So definitely just leaving my locks alone and letting them be. But year 4 is when I started traveling. So year 4 and 5, 2018, I left to do basically like a world tour. I went to Bali, South Africa, Ethiopia, Egypt, Italy, Portugal, and a few places. I spent a year traveling from 2018 to 2019. And this is when I learned a lot of lessons about caring for my locks internationally. If you travel, great takeaway, bring all of your products with you. Dr. Bronner's Castile soap is not available everywhere. I was washing my hair with the regular water anywhere I went. This was actually in Ethiopia. Washing my hair with the water, wasn't using bottled water or anything. But the type of water does impact your hair. I noticed that my locks were thriving a lot in Bali. My locks were thriving a lot in Ethiopia. But I spent 3.5, almost 4 months in South Africa, and my locks went through like a dry phase that I had to moisturize every single day. Thankfully, I had bought my oils with me, big bottles of oils with me, and I was also getting things shipped to me. So I was able to do that. But you can see here, when I was in Ethiopia, after I left South Africa, my locks look much more dull and much more dry than they did in previous pictures. And it really was because of the water from traveling. Here I'm in Egypt, and again, locks weren't looking as shiny and as healthy, but the good thing is they were growing. So I started wearing this is in Italy, I started wearing like a lot of head wraps, fully covered head wraps, just to really like give my locks the opportunity to lock in and seal in that moisture. And just really making sure that my locks were getting the opportunity to thrive. And here I am, just kind of like feeling through my locks, showing y'all my locks, and really doing like a lock update for y'all and myself, just to track the progress. But I was going overtime in moisturizing my locks, again avoiding just brittleness, and because brittleness leads to breakage. Still had my lock adornments, my crystals, my copper, all that stuff, still washing with Castile soap and everything. But yeah, at this time I'm back in New York, and my locks were kind of like, getting accustomed to being back in the city, and growth began again, moisture retention began again, and everything was well. At this point, I was living in Harlem. It was winter time. I was back in New York. This is moving into year 5, into 2019, going into 2020. And I was drinking a lot of herbs, really focused on restoring that moisture, using a lot of aloe vera, which I couldn't get as easily in other countries. So I was back to my aloe treatments, deep conditioning with aloe vera gel, rinsing with cold water, adding the avocado oil, castor oil, and all that good stuff after. I have previous videos on like all the oils and things I use in my locks. And yes, I am a oil user. I know some people are against that, but I am for it Again, year 5 for me, in hindsight, I would definitely say was a year for lock restoration, just focusing on restoring my moisture. This is also kind of when I started noticing a little bit of the thin spots, which were side effects of year 3. And you can kind of see it. You'll see like a bend in my locks around the shoulder area of this year. And that bend is actually a straight across line of thin spot from year 3. So again, just focus on moisturizing my locks, Castile soap, drinking my herbs. And I have previous video on the herbs and things that I drink. But yeah, just really like focusing on what I'm putting in my body, minding my diet, drinking my water, and getting back to restoring my locks through routine. And it paid off. By the end of year 5, moving into year 6, as you can see here, my locks had finally reached like waist length, which was like, wow, okay, we doing this. It was looking healthy. You see moisturized. They were, pretty as far as like in each individual lock, they were kind of even. The thin spots did not persist all over, which I was very grateful for. And this is me spiritually cleansing my hair and restoring my energy within myself and my locks and everything. As you guys know, I'm very big on smudging and using herbs to smudge. So here you see me smudging and just really focusing on cleansing my energy, cleansing my locks, allowing the smoke to just move through, and getting some vitamin D in those locks. And we move into year 6. So year 6, I loved this year. This was my year of peace with my locks. This was 2020 moving into 2021. And we were deep in COVID. So the environment wasn't affecting my locks. I wasn't, teaching anymore in the classroom. So all those environmental conditions were not affecting my locks anymore. I wasn't going outside as much. So not as much head wraps. And my locks were really getting a lot of room to just hang and breathe. And that helped a lot. I would also say this was another year of like rapid growth in my locks. As y'all can see, I'm laying down with nothing on my head. I still wasn't sleeping like with no head wrap and nothing on like that, you know what I'm saying? But again, still using my Castile soap, doing my herb rinses, my oil treatments and everything like that. And just really like just allowing my locks just to be and exist. And again, I really started noticing a lot of rapid growth. So a great takeaway I would say from year 6 is to absolutely just give your locks room to exist. Let them rest. I really wasn't styling too much. This is like one little quick little updo kind of style that I did, but I didn't use any bobby pins, just all locks. A good takeaway I would say from year 6, a great take from year 6, I would say is brushing my locks more consistently. As you can see in this picture here particularly, I have like some lint buildup in my locks from earlier days of just, not wearing bonnets or anything, and just like hand picking the lint out of my locks. I have a whole video about how I started using a soft bristle brush to brush my locks, and that helped tremendously. Essentially, I would just, brush my locks, put like water on my hands, run my fingers through my hair with the water, and then just brush my locks some more, put some oil on my locks and brush them some more. And I just started doing that on a regular basis, and that really, really helped with lint removal. So brush those locks. Now, something that I would say is a mistake from year 6 is this right here. I started dyeing my locks again. I don't regret it. I wouldn't really even say it's necessarily a full mistake, because honestly, it was a very conscious decision in knowing the risk I was taking. As we know, dyes and bleach and everything like that can be very heavy on the locks. It can be very harsh on the locks. And thankfully, I haven't had any serious damage. But as I moved through year 7 and 8, I absolutely started noticing just like some thin spots. And I noticed that when I started brushing my hair more often, I would have like a little bit of like shedding that I normally wouldn't get. Now, I was very satisfied with the color. You saw the process of me like applying the dye and everything. I was very satisfied with the color. I was going for like a golden blonde and got it. Very thankful. And honestly, I done started thinking about doing a second round, because this color has grown out again. This is still year 6. So yeah. But by the end of year 6, I went from waist length to like lower back high booty, high booty length. And yeah, I was really loving year 6, dyed my locks, but it was still some growth there. And here is year 7. Fully in 2021. This is actually August of 2021. It is my niece's birthday. She wanted to go to the Museum of Ice Cream in New York. And as you can see, the locks was hanging and swanging, baby. Okay. A great takeaway from year 7, I would really have to say, is enjoying these moments. A great takeaway, enjoying the length, realizing how long my locks were, and just enjoying it. Definitely a lot more head wraps around the house, because at this point they started getting visibly heavy. Excuse the boot bitch, okay? But it's a cute picture. But I really wanted to use this to show, again, the length of my locks. Like, I really started noticing exactly how lengthy and how heavy they got. So a lot of head wraps and keeping them up around the house. As I told y'all before, I was letting them hang and swing, but that weight can be damaging to the root. So great takeaway from year 7 is start wearing those locks up, especially around the house. And when you want to take videos, record content or whatever, you can wear them down. But now I am officially in year 8, or moving into year 8, I should say. This is 2022, and my locks, I can't even fully show them because they are like mid butt, lower butt length. They are long. Okay, long and heavy. This is me holding them up. I always tell people, when I'm washing my locks now, it feels like I'm in a fight and I'm losing. Okay, it feels like somebody got me by my hair and they are dragging me through the shower. I wash my locks in the shower and them things be heavy. Okay, God bless sisters like Narissa and other folks. Damian Marley, their brother got his locks all the way down to the floor. Inshallah, I will get there. But as of right now, these things is hanging. Okay, but this is me just like moving through my locks, and I tried to step as far away from the camera as I could, but still be close enough so that you guys can be, can see from root and somewhat to end. But thankfully, my locks are so long now that you can't even see them too much in the video. See the ends too much in the video because they done got so long, but I got real close to give y'all some root action. Definitely still a lot of congoing going on, not as much congoing. For those of you who don't know, congos is when 2 or more locks combine. I don't separate or cultivate or anything, but my locks are much heavier now, which means that they are naturally just like swinging and moving. And sometimes I'll feel the root, and some of them be feeling like they done twisted and stuff on their own. And I guess just because of the weight of them. But yeah, it's not too much congoing going on right now. But I find that you saw like there was a lot of like stray hairs or flyaways. Those kind of start forming their own little baby locks, and those baby locks attach to thicker locks eventually. So that's about the most congoing that I see now. Here you'll start to see, there you go, boom. There's like some shorter locks, and those are the locks that popped off from the effects of year 3, where I told y'all I was, not getting as much nourishment and nutrients as I should have been. And I just want to go back and say that during that time, I was very much like on a very strict plant-based diet. I wasn't eating as much. I cut back on portions heavily. So, and again, I was on a weight loss journey and, just wasn't eating as much. Big, huge change in my diet. And yes, it was for the better. However, my body wasn't used to getting a decreased amount of nutrients, which caused some thin spots, which eventually, as you can see here, caused some breakage. So you'll see that I have, again, some shorter locks, which I'm fine with. It kind of actually added like some layers to my hair, so it doesn't too much bother me. But again, I don't want you guys to go through that if you don't want to. That is a mistake, that I wasn't taking biotin or, some type of supplements to help supplement the biotin loss, which caused the thin spots of the breakage. But these are my locks, y'all. Year 8, long and strong and healthy and moisturized and doing their thing. So overall, family, the greatest takeaways are just enjoying your journey. This journey is yours. Mind your intentions, mind your energy. What you get into it is what you will get out. Love every moment of it. Mind your diet, really take care of yourself. Make sure that you are getting enough nutrients. Keep those locks moisturized. Wash them regularly, especially if you are freeforming. Do not be afraid to wash your locks regularly. Dry them well. Don't wring them, hand wring them. You don't want to cause breakage eventually in the end. Just allow them to be, allow them to hang and grow. Don't overstyle, don't over process, okay? And just really give your locks some love. The energy you put into them is what you will get out of them. I'm so grateful for this journey. I hope this video helped, and much love, y'all. Peace.